Hello guys, Dan here from Dan's Tech, and in today's video guys I'm going to be bringing you subscriber Q&A number 30. And this guys is the show I answer your guys' questions that you post on mainly the the last Q&A, but I do take some questions from all kind of videos that I see you guys commenting on. So I've got 11 questions for today, 11 questions today, and let's just kind of jump into it. So first one is from Google name. Okay. Do you know if risers cause any issues? Do they hamper performance? Looking at probably using a riser / extension with a 970 or 980. So you're talking about PCI Express times 16 risers. To my understanding, no, they don't hamper performance, but these cables are pretty short. So yeah, if you're like, I don't know if you can get like really long ones of these, but probably they will hamper performance a little bit. But typically speaking, no. Not really. A GPU will always perform to its best if you plug it directly into motherboard or using one of these risers. I do see. I think it's. I can't remember the name of these guys. Digital Storm. That's it. They create some wicked ass, custom liquid PCs, and yeah, they use risers. And I think if anything, them guys are going to know if it hampers performance. So yeah, I really don't think they do. So hopefully that kind of clears that up. Next question is from Mr. 8765. Do you need 2 memory DIMMs or can you just use one? You can use one, however, most motherboards these days support dual channel memory, and yes, effectively you can get double the bandwidth, double the speed, whatever, using 2. So I would recommend 2 DIMMs. So yeah, if you are buying RAM these days, guys, do get 2 sticks of RAM. Yeah. Especially if you're using an APU, because if you're using an APU, that extra bandwidth really does make an APU shine. It really, really does. APUs need fast memory, and if you've got it in dual channel, they're running really fast. So yes. Do you need 2? You don't, but I would kind of, would recommend that. So next question is from Batboy121000. Do you need thermal paste? Yes. Well, you do and you don't. If you don't put it on, you'll just get your high temperatures, so you don't specifically need it, but yes, I would always recommend putting thermal paste on your CPU. Yeah, thermal paste is just there to bridge the gap between the IHS on the on processors and yeah, the heatsink. So the hot air or just a hot surface, so the temperature can rise up into the heatsink. Yeah, yeah, whatever. That's probably the worst explanation, but yeah, you need thermal paste so the heat can move up to your heatsink more effectively. Yeah, thermal paste is just there to just help the heat move up. That's about it. So yeah, you do need thermal paste. Next question is from Jonathan Smith. Hi Dan, I've been looking at some upgrades for either an i7 4790K and a 970, or an i5 4690K plus a 980, or possibly even the TI version of the 980. I did get myself a pretty overkill PSU for my system, 750 watts, and do you think this could power either 2 of the upgrades? Yes, I do, yes. An i7 and a 970 won't use nowhere near 750 watts, and yeah, the i5 and the 980 won't either. However, I do think the 980 Ti do gobble up a load of power, so you might need to check that on NVIDIA's website. NVIDIA have got a really good website for checking all kind of things about their GPU. So yeah, do check out their website, and yeah, just check if the 980 Ti it really does gobble power. But yeah, you should be fine. 750 watts is all good, but you just need to make sure you've got the right cables. But I'm pretty sure on a 750 watt power supply, you can have the correct cables for even a 980 Ti. But yeah, you should be fine. But as I said, just check out NVIDIA's website to see if the 980 Ti uses like, I don't know, like 400 watts plus or something. I'm not too sure myself, but yeah, just check. Next question is from Temi892. Is Mini ITX in any way limiting compared to a standard ATX MOBO when it comes to GPU/3D graphics? I want to embed a PC with a powerful GPU inside another device which officially needs PC connection to run and has enough space in its case to put a Mini ITX, but not enough for a standard motherboard. Right, so you're asking if Mini ITX is limiting. In terms of the motherboards, they are limiting in terms of what you can plug in, but if you're just wanting to, build a Mini ITX PC and say put in a dual width graphics card, that's fine. In terms of being limiting, no. The only real thing that's limiting about a small board is that you can't plug a lot of stuff into it. You have less SATA connections, you have less PCI Express you know, ports in general. So yeah, that's kind of the only limiting thing. But if, you know, as I said, if you're just wanting to build a mini ITX PC, put, say, I don't know, you could even put a 980 Ti into a mini ITX motherboard and it'll work fine. There'll be no bottleneck there, and yeah, be about it. Yeah, just gonna make sure you get a good processor if you are buying a high-end graphics card. There we are. And the next question is from Sens. I can really get, but else that name. So yeah, Dan, I really like your content, and your videos are really yeah, really informative and really relaxing to watch. Okay, keep up the good work. I would like to see you with at least 100k subscribers. I would too, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Also, one quick question: what are your plans for your YouTube channel? For me, it's just to get out as many reviews as I can, and you know, to make them as high quality as possible. You know, I have kind of done, you know, many reviews recently that, you know, I feel the quality has been bumped up, but you know, since the beginning of this year, you know, I have kind of, you know, improved the quality. You know, I've got studio lights, I've invested in it, in a better camera, you know, met the set behind me look a little bit better, so yeah, I'm kind of getting there. And yeah, I would like to see myself with 100k subscribers, but you know, you're gonna get the reviews out in the videos for people to notice you, and that's about it. But you know, feel free to tell your friends about me, and you know, hopefully I'll get there just a little bit quicker. And next question is from Lewis Da Gamer HD. Is it worth getting two 256 gig SSDs or one 512 gig SSD? Now, in terms of performance, as a few guys pointed out, I know you did get a few replies. By having a 512 gigabyte SSD, chances are it's gonna, you know, be a little bit faster. A lot of these smaller SSDs don't tend to have as fast read and write speeds. However, saying that, if you get two 256 gig SSDs, you can run them in RAID 0 or say RAID 1. I believe both increase performance, but RAID 0 is the one that increases both read and write performance, while RAID 1 is just for reads, it improves. Yes, there we are. Yes, when you're writing, you have got to write to both drives. That's kind of like a backup system, isn't it, I suppose, RAID 1. I'm going to get a little hit for that, but it's kind of a backup system. It's not an actual official backup. You know, if one drive dies, you do get all your data, but if both die, you've got no data, and that's not really a backup. A backup is something you've got to have separately. Yes, you know what I mean. But yeah, both solutions will work. But yeah, if you are wanting, you know, kind of the best performance, probably get two 256 gig SSDs and run them in RAID 0. If one dies, then you lose both your data on both the drives, because that's how RAID 0 works. But yeah, both will work. I would personally go with the 512 gig SSD, but you know, that is, you know, kind of up to you. So yeah, it's just up to you, personal preference. If you're wanting to run RAID 0, or if you're just wanting, you know, bigger capacity SSD, which is just better overall. So next question is from Bob Joe. Hi, if I have a GTX 750 built in with a pre-built PC and I'm upgrading to a 970, will the PC be able to run it? Now, you haven't told me any of your specs, so I don't know, but typically pre-built PCs don't come with the best power supply, so chances are you will need to upgrade your power supply, yeah, to go from a 750 to a 970. But apart from that, if you've got something like an i3 or an i5 in that PC, that would definitely be able to keep up with a 970. So yeah, should be able to run it. But yeah, just do make sure you got the correct cables on the power supply, and that, you know, it is a high enough wattage to deal with the 970. I do know the GTX 970 is very power efficient, so you know, chances are you should be okay, yeah, without any upgrades. So that's all good. And the next question is from Haggy Taylor. Hey, Dan's Tech, I put together my final build choice. Could you read it, see if it's good for gaming at the equivalent or better than console gaming? Okay, I will play gaming like the Black Ops 1 and 2 and Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3 and emulators. The only very demanding game I play is GTA 5. So yeah, so i3 4160. Possibly an upgrade to i5 or i7, he says. Z97GB motherboard, GTX 960, 600 watt PSU, 8GB RAM. That's all good? Yes, I think that'll be good for gaming. Yeah, an i3 and a 960. A GTX 960 should perform pretty well for GTA 5 as well. Yeah, that's not the highest end cards. I think that's kind of the lower end. I think that is the lowest end 900 series card NVIDIA make, but you know, all of the 900 series from NVIDIA up to now has been pretty damn good. And yeah, the 960 Yeah, it's alright for the money. I do think there's an AMD card which does kind of rival that and is a little bit cheaper, so yeah. But in terms of being able to play, the Black Ops games and the Modern Warfare games, definitely an 960 is, more than powerful. And yeah, for GTA 5 you should be good. Yes, that's all good. No kind of bottlenecks there. That's all good? Yeah, all good. Cool. So next question, I just said cool. Next question is from Cool 15861. Hey Dan, I have a question. Can a GTX 750 MSI 2GB run on a 460 watt PSU? More than likely, yes, but you've just got to check if you have the correct PCI Express cables. Yeah, typically you run a 750 with a 460 watt PSU. Yeah, just check if you've got the right amount of cables. You probably will do. I think the 750 only requires one cable, so yeah, you should be able to get away with that. So last question is from Galen Yates. Hey, I noticed the processor you purchased says it's compatible with a Z97 and Z87 chipsets, and your motherboard says H81. Yet it still works. Would really appreciate if you could clear up motherboard and CPU pairing for me. Smiley face. Yeah, so you're referring to the processor I put in the Mini ITX gaming PC, which is just down here actually. So yeah, that PC is an i5. It's the 4460. And yeah, the motherboard chipset is H81. Now, that chipset is kind of a lower end chipset. You can't do overclocking on that. Now, you can change base clocks though if you want to, so that's all good. But yeah, essentially pairing up the CPUs and motherboards, what you need to look for is just a socket. And then once you've got the socket, you want to check the chipset of the motherboard and see if that's kind of compatible with the processor. Now, H81 is a chipset for LG1150, and that's what the processor supports. So as soon as the processor can go into the motherboard, because it has the same socket, you are typically okay. But yeah, you do want to be checking if you go to the manufacturer's website and type in your motherboard, you should be able to see a CPU support list, and that'll tell you if it's compatible. Now do be aware that if you buy a motherboard that's typically quite old, chances are new CPUs can go in that board, but you will need to upgrade the BIOS. Now typically, as manufacturers continue to make a motherboard, they will upgrade that BIOS and ship it with kind of a new BIOS. So you do want to check that. But yeah, if you already have a system and you want to upgrade a CPU, but you got a BIOS that's not very, not kind of the latest one, you can upgrade that and then put a new CPU in, so that's all good. It's similar to the i7 4770K that I've got. If I want to upgrade to the 4790K, I would have to upgrade my BIOS. Now it's only it's a simple process of putting it on a flash drive, installing it, but yeah, can be a little bit tricky, and can be a little bit nerve-wracking if you've never done it before, because you can brick a motherboard by screwing up that process. But you just want to make sure you don't turn off your PC whilst updating that BIOS. That's about it. Yeah, I do know most Gigabyte motherboards do come with a dual BIOS, so that's kind of the like the fail-safe. But yeah, that's kind of about it. But yeah, you just want to check the socket, and then you want to see if it's compatible in terms of BIOS revision. That's kind of about it. But yeah, that i5 does work with the H81 chipset, but yeah, overclocking is just limited. The Z chipsets from Intel are typically the ones that support overclocking. Anyway guys, that's all the questions I have for today, and yeah, hopefully, if you've watched this and you've posted a comment, and yeah, I've answered it, yeah, hopefully, yeah, my response is all good, and yeah, you've somewhat learnt something. Anyway, if you guys have got questions, put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you on Q&A number 14, and that'll kind of be about it. Thank you for watching, and yeah, feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.